Hello again. I'm back. It's more my rise. I hate this mode, so please let me know in the comments if you enjoy me subjecting myself to
Welcome to
this.
Raw.
We're going to get started with a
Gotta say, I've been
Drew
a fan.
Gulak match. Adam Pearce tells us that we lack the fundamentals, which is pretty funny for Drew Gulak to say given the state of this convoluted move he uses against the Lock. But we get the job done with a dragon suplex. Now I'm talking to this cosplaying stalker who tried to recruit Rude to a book club, whatever that's meant to mean, and somehow books a match on Raw against him for revenge. And it's a finisher match, a hit the locks, power slam, and that's all for that one. Another challenge match. Kaiser believes that 5 out of 9 fall matches are a good idea, and for some reason it's up to us to crush his free-thinking spirit into a WWE superstar cube. And this Caleb Braxton can book matches as well, apparently, so that's what happens. And I easily beat him. Twice in a row. So on to Shawn Michaels to give us a pep talk. Wants us to headline a main event.
A live event? I'm not sure that's a big test.
Which Locke immediately says isn't a big enough deal for him, and then insults HBK when he tries to flex, which is kind of funny.
Takes a big name talent to put butts and seats there. You know, like when I main evented WrestleMania 12.
Wasn't that in Anaheim? Technically not LA.
Nothing gets by you.
But also so unnecessary, and how are we supposed to like this guy? I don't think I've made any moves so far that really cemented the Lock's place as a heel. I think he's just an arsehole either way.
Great. We thought we'd let you choose who you want to main event against. Sami Zayn.
Anyway, he gives me a choice of a few guys, and I've already faced Sami Zayn and Ridge Holland, so I go with Austin Theory. But I do wonder what would have happened if I had have selected to sell it out on my own. What does he do then? Wrestle a broomstick?
I hope your theory is
And
correct.
then Michaels with a dad joke. Great. That belongs on Reddit.
So, big live event coming up. Do you
Oh, here we
feel
go.
most
Another
pressured
interview.
knowing
The
that
Lock has
soon
seen
next
these
The Rock
before.
will be in
He knows
LA
how to do an
promoting the
interview.
premiere of his new movie, Mudslide?
Don't fret.
I don't know why they didn't call it Rock Slide. It was
So,
right there.
Kat's asking about the movie premiere that The Rock has coming up called Mudslide, and is asking if it'll impact the Lock's match.
Would you rather watch
A live
celebrities
event
walk
in
a red
LA.
carpet or watch me
Will
as the
that
reigning
impact
Continental Championship?
or be impacted
Easy
by
decision.
The
I should
Rock's
mention that
movie
it's not
premiere?
just a typical movie
Like,
premiere. Rock's
those
giving away
things are
100
anywhere
brand
near
new
the same
pickup
level
trucks, and anyone
of
who attends
attention
is
grabbing.
eligible to win.
But The
And
Lock is
fans
so
can sign up
arrogant
weeks in advance.
that he thinks
Look, it's gonna be fine, okay? When the bell rings for my match, those seats will be full.
But The Lock's so arrogant that he just brushes
Oh,
this
and
off.
Just a heads up, I might be a little
And then Kat
casual
admits
on
that she
account of
won't
the
be
fact
doing
I'm
her
over
job
for
of
friendship
documenting
for
The
Tony
Lock,
Rock's premiere.
and
So I
instead
tried
will be
my
in
best to
line
catch your match
at the
too.
movie premiere
Got it.
to perhaps win
Thanks.
a truck. So anyway, in front of no one, apparently, The Lock easily defeats Theory.
As you didn't notice, the arena was only half full.
Was upset that people
So,
didn't show up to
great.
his
What do
event,
you chalk that up to?
I thought
and actually
this
has some
Theory would be a
self-reflection
fresh
here,
match
thinking
people
maybe
wanted to see.
Theory was the
Maybe
wrong
they
idea.
wanted me to take on someone I had
History with Sami
like
Zayn
Sami
and Ridge Holland
Or
perhaps
maybe
would have
it's
sold
just
better,
tough to compete with The
but
Rock, giving out free
ultimately
trucks.
difficult to compete
Who
with
knows?
free trucks. He goes on to take this out on The Rock like a real tough guy through Twitter. He expects The Rock to know who he is because he's been on Raw, 3 times? Again, is this supposed to be a likable personality? Because he's given me options here of a babyface response or a heel response, and I feel like either way, he's going to turn the response into a heel response because he's just a dick. But of course, I'm working on going full heel here because there's nothing redeeming about the Lock apart from his awesome moveset that I created. So, save your advice for someone else, Rocky. None of this is interesting and only serves to make me want to end this mode quicker, so I put it on easy.
I've been thinking back on my own career lately, and I realized a lot of
HBK
my
still, for
success
some
can be
reason, is
credited to
doing
the
everything he
factions I was a
can
part of,
to help this
both
kid.
off screen and on.
Wants him to join
Just
a
like you, I'm
faction.
strong-willed and independent. But in WWE, you often find yourself needing backup. The other members of the Clique and DX also push each other to be better.
What are you getting at?
Prominent
Lock is
superstars
straight
like
away
Vince
on the
McMahon.
defensive, thinks
The
that this
idea
is
of
to do
building
with
a
the
faction around
LA
you,
Live event
and the
not
brass
selling
thinks it's
out.
a good idea.
Is this because of the LA Live event?
And blames
Set up to fail with the
WWE
whole Rock
for the
publicity
scheduling.
stunt happening the same night. You're lucky the building was half full.
Sure, whatever. But this faction stuff
HBK,
has
with the
nothing to do
patience
with
of a
that.
saint, just brushes
It's all
this
about
off.
accelerating your rise to the top.
So Lock goes on to
I think
blame
it
his
says a
ring
lot that a
gear
couple of heavy hitters
and
came to
says
us
that
wanting
he
to
wants
build
that
something
gone
around
too.
you.
So all the
So
money
I'll say it
and
again.
effort
Play
WWE have
ball
put into
here
this gimmick
and trust the process.
has now been shred away,
But if I do this, I see it as a good
which is a weird
opportunity
position for me
freshen
to
up
be
my
in, to be
look.
defending
So no more lock.
WWE's
okay?
gimmicking
If that's what it takes to
process.
get this done,
But
then fine.
here we are. That's how annoying the Lock is.
Okay, then I'm on board.
Oh no, if we continue, we might not get to help out Manny the Fan or Adam Pearce's booking problems. But unfortunately, I've already put myself through that, so let's move ahead. To the faction joining process. You are in high demand as both Randy Orton and MVP would like to recruit you to their factions. Be sure to talk to both of them and weigh your options before you make this important decision. A decision that will likely affect your
Glad we
booking
can finally
for
talk.
the next
Especially
week
since you
or
might be
two.
hearing some big promises
Okay, let's
from
hear from
guys
Orton
like
first.
MVP. But let's cut to the chase. What has he really accomplished?
He starts by insulting MVP, which I'm happy to go
Not
along
much
with.
recently.
Exactly. I like where your head's at.
Randy likes that I pile on.
So why are you getting involved with all this faction stuff?
I enjoyed what I had in Arcade
Randy
Bro.
talks about
It got me
Arcade
thinking
Bro,
about my start in
a tag team not featured in
when
this
I was a
game.
part of one of the greatest factions.
Actually, I think
of
that
all
Arcade Bro
time.
is one of the default
Evolution.
tag teams. They just don't
I
have
want
an
to add
entrance
to my legacy
specific
by
to
building
them.
an even better version.
And yet another example of the effort that went into this game.
Interesting.
I'll be the
Now,
next
Randy
leader,
Orton wants to
the Triple H
rebuild
type. And I
Evolution.
see the Lock in the
but he
phenom
wants it to
role
be
that
better.
I held. You're not
He's one of the
guy
top
yet, but with my
guys
help,
at the time
will.
in Triple H, one of the greatest of all
I seem
time
to recall
in
that
Ric
you
Flair,
and Evolution
and two of the
didn't
biggest
end on the best
prospects
terms.
in the history of the business
You don't
in
need to
Randy
worry
Orton
about
and
that.
Batista.
With me in
But
charge,
he thinks
it will be different.
that
When
he,
the time's right,
Randy
I'll pass
Orton,
the torch to you and
who's
you'll become
been
world champion.
around the top of the
Just
card
like
for
I
so
did.
long and has cooled off
When
tremendously,
will that be?
he would be a good leader.
I can't make
The
any
Lock,
promises.
who's just joined
Ultimately,
the
it's up to
roster,
you.
would also be perfect, and he doesn't even know who the other one's going to be. So it's a pretty weak pitch,
This
and I
is
need
a
more time to
fine.
think about it.
But I'm not going to wait.
So let's
around.
talk to MVP. What can MVP provide the Lock? All the way in the back there. These two just hanging out like weirdos in the hall.
Intercontinental champion.
Oh, I just happened to bump
It's a
into
pleasure,
you. How
man.
you doing,
I
Lock?
enjoy watching you tear it up
And
so
he's
far along.
relaunching the Hurt Business.
They weren't
Well, at
wrong with
least
all
this
that
is
hype, which is
realistic.
why I wanna
None of them
know.
can come up with their own new creative ideas. They just relaunch
had
factions that may or
Couldn't
may
keep
not have
track
been
from one
successful in
week
the
to next
past.
if you were together, broken up, or who was even in the group.
And the Lock,
You're not
in
wrong,
fairness,
which
is
is why
consistent
I am
and
going
also
to do it right
insults
this
MVP to
that
MVP,
starts
not
with
just
you.
to Randy Orton.
I mean, look
He
at what I did to
rehabbed Bobby Lashley,
I helped
but the
elevate
Lock
him
is
to
ready
become
for the
WWE
prime time.
champion.
So I guess
And I can do the same
basically,
thing for you,
it's
but
do you want to be
faster.
number two to
Since,
Randy
let's
Orton,
be honest,
or do you want to be
Bobby was
number
a bit
one
of a
under MVP?
rehabilitation project.
So, who else do you have in mind for the group?
The Lock asks
I'm
a
reviewing
reasonable
a lot of
question of, well, who else is going to be in this group?
No matter who
You're
else
only
joins,
talking to
the
me.
Lock is going to be
And
the
MVP's
guy,
like, well,
the
don't worry
focus
about
of it.
that.
Every
Don't worry
decision
about
your
that.
business makes will
The
be
whole
influenced
idea of a
further
faction
your
is to be in a
individual
team,
success
and you're
first.
not telling me who the team is. So, also a bad pitch.
That all sounds good. Assuming you're not
Of the
just
two,
saying,
though,
I'm not. Trust me.
it makes
I
more
see
sense
big
to
things in
me
you.
to go with the Hurt Business because I've got MVP there who is just a manager, I think, and wants me to become WWE champion. Whereas Randy Orton wants to be WWE champion and wants me to just wait my turn, which I can do without him. So obviously, because I hate the lock,
I totally get it.
my decision will be
And do what
to put him in a worse position and join
I'll
Evolution.
let you know. Yeah, I'm ready to be a part of Evolution.
Fuck you, Locke, that's why.
Good.
And
You made
to
the right
add
call.
to
I'm
the
extremely
insult, Randy
confident in your
Orton needs me
abilities,
to
but
have
I
a
wanna
test
give you a
match
crash course in doing
against some
things.
random jobber. So I beat the piss out of him. Look at the blood streaming down his face. Although we count as the dragon suplex, that's pretty embarrassing. Oh. Actually, really embarrassing here. He's beating the crap out of the lock after I put it on easy. God. Okay, but I have the counter icons up there now, so it's even easier to come back with a finish. Bam. Please don't rope break. No, we're good. Suck it. There you go, Orton. He's really pumped about that. Wow, the Intercontinental Champion can beat a jobber in a training scenario. I can't wait to have him join my team.
I was skeptical of all this at first, but
More
I'm trying my
interviews.
best to trust the process.
Random's
Which
trying
is
to
tough,
trust the
since I know
process.
Randy's not always been the most straight-up guy, but
Insulting
I think he really
Randy
wants to
now.
do this the right way, and that means stepping aside when the time's
But
right.
he's going to
and
trust
giving
him.
me
He's going to
the
trust
spotlight.
Orton in the
Any
process.
clue who else will be joining this new?
Randy hasn't told me anything.
And he
Yes,
still
we'll
doesn't
all
know
find out
who's
together.
going to be in his team. Shambles, this is. Shambles.
Any idea who this could be?
Now let me take you back to the 90s, when people rode in limos. And after all this talk of not liking the gear he's been given, at the first opportunity of wearing his own clothing, the Lock chooses an ill-fitting, powdered pink suit. Good God. The second most offensive part of this is the jerk-off moron loser that we're teamed with. So Randy Orton, in his reimagining of Evolution, has picked a newcomer with a bad attitude and a guy that's apparently been there 10 years that really hasn't accomplished much of anything. And that's his faction that's
Put
going
the
to
lock
take
in
over the
notes, but now I
WWE.
wanna show the
Ooh, I
entire
can't wait.
WWE universe
Gabriel
that
Slade
we
obviously went to the
run
same
things here
tailor,
on Raw. When
'cause
I
he
was
looks
in
like
the
a fatty in
original
that suit as
Evolution,
well.
We did that by holding multiple championships. So we are going to do the same.
We've put the locker room on notice.
I thought you said
Just
I need to wait my
because we
turn to go
turned
after
up
the
in a
WWE
limo.
Championship.
You do. I've used my pull to get us a match for the Street Profits Raw Tag Team Championships.
Orton's used his pull
can
to
beat
get
the
us a
Street
tag
Profits.
match against
No
the
problem.
Street Profits for
I
the
like your
titles.
confidence, but it's not
But
just
that isn't
the
as
Street
impressive when
It's
you
a triple
have
threat
random
match.
fans
Them and the team of
just
Carmelo Hayes and
roaming
Omos
the backstage
and
area
MVP's
booking
relaunch
matches
of
on
their
Raw.
business.
Apparently everyone's doing reboots these days.
Don't worry.
To lock with
After this
a
match,
really
I'll be
aggressive
holding 2 championships.
head nod
We
to
got this.
give Orton confidence. And here we go, the first appearance of the new Evolution, and they don't even have Trons or their own entrance motion, just to really sell the fact that Evolution's back. Can you believe it? They're taking over Raw with no production quality whatsoever. Absolute mess of a match. It's actually a triple threat tag match. I'm supposed to get Carmelo Hayes, but he keeps getting beaten up by everyone else. Oh, I've snuck a pin, only for Omos to interrupt. He looks in trouble here. Bam! Big old Razor's Edge. Oh! Montez Ford out of nowhere. And the champions retain. And the 2 goofballs from Evolution are left laying. Oh right, Omos and Carmelo Hayes are the MVP's outfit. Something tells me that we probably still would have been teamed with this dork if I had a selected MVP, but I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I don't care. MVP takes a deserved shot on Twitter, as does Angelo Dawkins. I've got to catch up on DMs, the most fun part of this game.
You had your shot.
The Lock's
and
still
you lost.
pretending he's calling the
Now
shots.
we're going after the tag titles.
But Randy,
You're
you're
overreacting.
overreacting.
It was one match.
It was
I
one
mean,
match
what
that we
does it
lost.
say about your eye for talent if
Gabe
you're
lost
already
too.
having doubts about it? And
Yeah, he
besides,
did.
Gabe lost too.
Gabe didn't
Oh,
get
but
pinned.
you got pins, Lock.
You did.
Bitch.
Look, give me another
Oh,
chance.
come on, boss.
I'll prove
Give me
myself
another
by doing
chance.
something really impressive. I'll beat the Street Profits next
Okay, I
week
don't
all by
hate this
myself.
idea
Who
given
knows? Could even earn us a
this is
title.
basically how tag matches go anyway. I'm just going to use my guy, especially on easy. Like, I'm not trying to brag here. It's on easy, but just having one less person to deal with is fine with me. So I beat the Street Profits by myself, by Lock's self. Maybe that could be his pronoun. Lock's. He actually is the type of person that would have dumb pronouns like that. Like, so self-concerned that he would go around
Not bad, huh? Told you
kind
I'd
of
show
almost
you I was
talking
worthy
in
of a
third
rematch.
person.
I was impressed.
Yes, did you
But I'm
see
sticking
that?
with the original
Randy,
plan.
Lock's
Me and
self
Gabe were
defeated
taking the tag title
the
rematch.
Street Profits.
And you could have
Look,
blown it by
arcs
going out
up.
there on your own.
Randy
and
shuts
losing.
him down. This is pretty
Yeah,
much all
well,
we need
I
to see
did
of
it.
this.
Don't you think
Gabriel
it should be
Slade
me
backs
and you
up
going after the
Randy
tag
as
titles?
if he wouldn't. This is the biggest break of his
I
stupid
actually
career.
think Randy's right.
Both of these options are
Fine.
pathetic,
Understood.
so
Trust the
both of them are
process.
perfect for the Lock.
Now you're talking.
So, how did it feel to watch
More
you on the
interviews.
sidelines as your evolution
And
team
apparently
captured the
Randy
Raw Tag
and
Team Championship?
Gabriel won, and
Honestly,
the Lock's bitter
not great.
about it.
I
Of
earned
course
the
he is.
opportunity to be out
What a
there,
piece
but
of
it
shit.
didn't work out that way.
I don't want to pry.
Kat
but
notices there
you
may be dissension in evolution already.
You know what?
In what
I
group
think I've
that
said all
has
I wanted
this
to say.
idiot in it would there not be dissension? But hey, it was all worth it for a pair of tights. Jesus Christ. Let's keep going, huh? Let's have more of this.
Like to complain, but
Caleb
I'm
Braxton's
getting
booking
pretty
more
fed up with the
matches.
match.
Gotcha. Next. Story complete. That counts for a story, having one match. Alright. I don't know who this person's supposed to be. Robin
right? Problem is,
records
the
audio.
wrestlers
We've
keep
got like an
ending up
audio engineer
outside
that's
the ring, where I don't
now
have any
booking
mics set up.
matches.
I could
On Raw, no less. But we get a look at Mad Cat Moss. Now, I like this guy's look. I've not really any clue as to what he does on WWE. But he's a big guy. He kind of looks like a Steiner. In the face, you know. And he's got a pretty generic looking entrance, but I think I'm going to put this guy to use in Universe. Kind of like a Test. Reminds me of Test. He can be Test. He can be Test when he got pushed the second time. Like with Stacy Keibler. Not the first time with the corporation stuff and not the last time with the ECW stuff. The middle time, when he was just kind of mid, but big and beat some guys, you know? Alright, that's the plan for Mad Cat Moss. Well, that's the plan for him in Universe. In this match, he's getting his head taken off, not with a big boot, with a lariat. And that's all she wrote.
Bro, I got a proposition for you.
Bro,
Want to trade
I
titles?
got a proposition for you.
24/7
Wanna
title
trade
that just won
titles?
off of our
The 24/7 title would be good if it looked different and actually everything about it was different. I like how it is kind of modeled after the WBC, the boxing championship, which is a gorgeous title. But this one's just, I mean, a 4-year-old could put that
Totally.
faceplate
Were you
together.
gonna attack me?
So we couldn't win the
Here,
tag
in the
titles,
loading
but
dock by my
we're going to go
speaker
for
rack?
the
Give me a
24/7
hint here,
title, and we'll have a look at Matt Riddle's entrance. I like Riddle. I was a fan of him in the UFC. Absolutely brutal KO on The Ultimate Fighter. I watched that season. He's got a ridiculous nameplate. I don't think you can change those either. But out he comes on his scooter. Scooters are big at the moment. I was at an intersection recently and there was a kid doing tricks, just waiting for the lights. And I was just thinking to myself, like, there's almost nothing impressive you could do on a scooter. It's a good method of transport. I like those electric ones. I fucking went over the handlebars of one drunk one time. And a lovely lesbian couple came over and asked if I was okay. And I said, yes, I think I'll just walk the rest of the way home. But this is really nothing to do with the game. I don't know what I'll do with Riddle. But I mean, he's basically a 10-year-old boy in a man's MMA body. So let's take the 24/7 championship off him, shall we? Let's beat up this 10-year-old. Is that his gimmick? Is he mentally challenged? Or is that what stoners are? Are we telling the story that stoners are mentally challenged because they smoke marijuana, cannabis, weed, grass, green, wacky tobacco, the devil's lettuce, and so on? Well, no matter what the reason, I make quick work of Riddle, finishing him with a leg drop no less, not even one of my finishes, just to really drive home the fact that this championship means nothing. So, double champ, Intercontinental, and 24/7. Wow, what a start.
Superstars could say they've held 2 titles in WWE at the same time.
So, Riddle wants a rematch, Truth wants a chance. I guess, they can take that into their own hands, can't they? They can just attack me at any point. Isn't that the idea of the 24/7 championship? Why would you advertise it on Twitter? Why wouldn't you just sneak attack?
Close look at Riddle and R-Truth's #1 contender match. Looks like the champ's seen enough.
Yeah, like this guy, Reggie. Just hits him once, then looks at him, gets beat up himself. Referee shows up out of nowhere. So I bust up Reggie, pin him on the concrete, and still 24/7 champion. And then the Lock runs away. Oh, being chased by Truth and Riddle.
Now Reggie's back on his feet too. Looks like he's not giving up
And by Reggie.
dreams yet either.
Oh, Shawn Michaels not happy about the 24/7 title being added. But unfortunately for him, just about anyone can book a match on Raw, so it's hard to control this. Speaking of which, now everyone's in the ring. Got a 4-way to contend with. At least it's weapons allowed, though I don't need weapons to beat R-Truth with a straight-up power slam, with everyone else dead around me, or the Lock. So, still double champ is the Lock. At Hell in a Cell, no less. Wow. Defended the 24/7 championship at Hell in a Cell. Oh, and politics have entered the ring, and the Lock is stripped of the 24/7 championship. What a big waste of time that was. Just like the rest of this stupid mode. At least that was a little bit of a story though, I guess. Okay, it continues. Chad Gable, what do you got to say? He wants an assistant, the Lock gets butthurt, so they have a match.
How about I shoosh you up in the ring instead?
Look at that weird shirt in the background. How is it hanging like that?
Which is
Is
why
there like a
I'm
little
fine
mannequin
where I'm
inside it or something?
at. My offer for a match.
Why is
still
that more
stands.
interesting than this
I've
dialogue?
got other business to attend to.
Why am I playing this game?
My Alpha Academy associate.
Okay, so let's just beat Chad Gable. Oh, okay, Otis. Let's beat Otis. There, done. And then Drew Gulak joins them instead. I mean, does anyone care about this? Oh, and I missed Randy Orton not being happy about me going for the 24/7 title either. Seriously, who cares? And then apparently whatever I did for this idiot isn't good enough, whatever. Sorry for doing you a favor for no reason. Oh my god, there's so many of these. Oh, look at this. We can upgrade our black-eyed pea brain to 92 overall.
Believe me, everybody in WWE knows you'll be.
Okay,
on
we're
your
still
own.
continuing this
You guys
story
haven't
with
had your back since day one.
Alpha
None of you are on
Academy.
the same page.
And given the chance to defend my faction, I decide the Lock would
Handle
not
my
do that.
guys.
Of course, it still just leads us to a match with Drew Gulak anyway. It's not like any decision you make in this mode would actually make a difference. But I like Drew Gulak. He's got a good look. Obviously, you know, goes along with my likes in a wrestler. His catch point's cool. Sounds like it would be a good faction name. I mean, wasn't catch point a faction in Evolve with shooter type guys? Okay, anyway, let's get on with it. So I've got to go to the top rope, and that's when Otis enters. Where did he come from? You mean it wasn't the ramp that he was standing in front of and obviously just walked down? Low blow from Gable and, oh my god, beaten by Drew Gulak. And then beaten down. How embarrassing. For some reason it's Adam Pearce that backs me up, even though I've got a faction. He's just yelling. Okay. Great. Well, thank you, Orton and... what's the other one's name? Slade, for being absolutely useless as a faction. Not that The Lock deserves their help anyway, but... Oh, okay, and they're like, oh, bad timing. We were too busy kissing in the back. Oh, here we go. The whole Evolution entrance. Do they have Trons? No. Do they have a custom entrance motion? No. You know this was all set up, like this is a pretty linear story, and they still couldn't bother to create an Evolution entrance. And dare I say that if I had joined MVP, there wouldn't be a Hurt Business entrance either. It would probably look the exact same. So we're going to take on the offending parties, Drew Gulak and Alpha Academy. Well, I guess together they're all Alpha Academy. Drew Gulak being their assistant or something. Trios matches are a nightmare. This took forever. But eventually, of all people, Gabriel Slade gets the job done with an unprettier on Drew Gulak for the pinfall victory. Should we take a look at their custom victory motion? Oh, it doesn't exist. Never mind. Oh, and now we're helping out some other random dude. You know what? I don't even have the patience for this. That's it for this one. Ugh. Can you please leave a comment? Just say, yeah, do another one of these. Just give me some motivation to do this again. This mode fucking sucks, dude. I'm sorry if you came back to these videos for my haphazardly insertion of memes in the last video, but I just tried that as a means of getting attention, and look, it worked. No, I'm kidding. That's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, have a good one.